Welcome to another Demarcation Media action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Marvel Legends Miles Morales Spider-Man figure. As you can see, I don't have the box here. I still have it somewhere, but honestly I don't care too much about the box. I mostly just care about the figure inside, and to me the box is just a way to keep the figure, in good condition. So this is what you get for the actual figure. If you buy the figures all sealed, you will also get a Space Venom arm for the Build-A-Figure, but to actually get the whole of that figure, you have to buy the entire wave and assemble it all. So I just got rid of the arm because I didn't feel like collecting all of the wave because I wasn't interested. I just wanted the Spider-Man. So let's move in a little closer so you can see his accessories and the paintwork on those. So first pair of hands, we have the web shooting hands. The sculpt for these are pretty nice. There's not really any excess plastic hanging on there. No really rough spots. The paintwork is pretty nice as well. You can see on the thumb of this one, kind of, I don't know, something happened there. Too much black. But the rest of it is pretty nice. There's also a tiny spot of red, but from any reasonable distance these look pretty nice. They have a joint there so you can bend it when it's in his arm, and I'll show you how to put these on later. So that's it for those hands. Next up, we have the most essential hands for any superhero figure, the fists. And again, the sculpt for these are very nice. Here you can see a little bit of excess plastic kind of on the top here with the seam, kind of down here by the bottom as well, but still not bad. The sculpt on the back here is really nice if you get it in the right light. The paint here is great, probably a little better than the web shooting hands, and once again they just have the joint on there. You can see this one on mine, actually a piece broke off, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but for now those are the fist hands. So next we have the unmasked Miles Morales head, which is actually really creepy, just sitting here with no body right now. But as far as the Marvel Legends heads go, this one's one of the better ones. It doesn't look overly realistic, and the eyes do still kind of have that, dead look, but it's not horrible. It can work. The eyes are actually pretty neat because they're gold, so they can actually kind of get a little catch in them, which is nice. The face sculpt is nice as well. The eyebrows are just, pretty simple, painted on there. The hair is a nice sculpt, painted pretty well, and it just fits on via like a ball socket, which I'll show you in a minute. So here is the figure himself, and right now he has the kind of wall crawling hands, and those can be removed. I guess we'll start off with the articulation. You can probably already see there's a kind of torso joint that has a little bit of give in between clicks because it's a click joint, so you can make him bend all the way down like that. Make him bend all the way back like that, which is kind of necessary for a Spider-Man. His head, full rotation. You can look up, you can look down. His arm can go all the way out straight. Spin it all the way around, and you can already see the bicep swivels starting to go. Double jointed elbow, and you can swivel the wrist and bend this all around. So that's the same on both arms. The joints are actually kind of a soft plastic, and so mine kind of was warped in the package, which is a little bit annoying in some cases, but it usually doesn't cause too much of a problem. And if you get a figure like this and it really bugs you, I know there's some ways you can use like a hair dryer or hot water to bend it back in place. There's a swivel which can make him turn all the way around and be really messed up. You can just flip him back. The legs can go out pretty much, straight sitting. These pieces up here are actually two different molds, I think, which is kind of weird sometimes. You have a swivel there, and you have a swivel there. The feet don't go very far forward, which kind of makes crouching poses a problem, but you can get them pointed out pretty well, and you can tilt them from side to side in really messed up ways. That's what you can get for the knee, which is a pretty nice range of movement. Out to the sides, let's see, that's about it. And then backward, you don't have much. That's about the limit. So you kind of have to rely on the knees to get that to work. So let's move in a little closer so you can see the paintwork. So there's the face. You can see mine has a weird kind of molded something funny on his eye, but it doesn't bother me because it hasn't caused any problems when I'm photographing this guy, so I'm fine with it. The webs are pretty nice all across the head. There's no major flaws at all there. Travels down the neck pretty well. To the back, you can see there's kind of a smudge or scratch there, which I'm not sure if that's my fault or if it's manufacturing issue. There's also a few more kind of dings up there, and then the printing, come on, focus, there we go. The printing it's actually crooked down here. You see these don't line up all the way, which, up this close kind of looks bad, but when you move it away, put it on a shelf for display or whatever, it's fine. And then that's pretty much the extent of the paintwork, because the rest of him is just black, except for his hands, which paintwork is pretty similar to the other hands we looked at. Yeah, so while we're at the hands, let's see if I can just get him to stand up real quick. While we're on the subject of hands, this is how they come off. Just like that. Simple, easy, or it is at first glance. Do not, when you're pulling it out, you need to pull it straight out. Hold on a second. There we go. Do not pull it like that, because that's what I did with this fist here, and the very end broke off in his arm and left a little chunk which kept the other hands from going in, and it was a pain in the butt to fix. So just when you're doing it, kind of wiggle it back and forth, pull it out straight, and you'll be fine. So here's what he looks like with his unmasked head. That's pretty cool. The expression is neutral enough to fit into, different scenarios. There's his masked head, and the sizes are pretty good. The unmasked head isn't bigger than the masked head, which makes sense, and that's good. Real quick, I'll show you how removing it works. Yeah, that's just it. You just kind of yank it off. And unlike the hands, there's really no right way to do it. Putting the head back on, there you go. Simple as that. So this figure was my first real step into action figure collecting. I've been mostly collecting Legos for a long time, and most of the action figures I've had in the past were really crappy ones, as I may have mentioned before. They were really crappy. They have really loose joints. they fell apart pretty quick. But this figure it's a good solid figure. It has good articulation. It has a pretty good range of accessories. Most of the joints are pretty good. There's a few exceptions. This one right here is a little on the loose side, but nothing that's going to cause, the figure to topple over while posing him or something. The average price for him is $20. That's pretty much the baseline for all Marvel Legends, is just $20. To me, that's a little steep, but like I said, he comes with a pretty good spread of accessories and his articulation is good. So I would recommend it at that price. If you can find it on a super sale like I did, Walmart was doing some wonky thing and I ended up getting for $8. If you can do that, jump on it. I would even suggest buying a couple, pass them on to friends or something. So yeah, bottom line, this figure is a great one to start with if you're new to action figure collecting, and even for seasoned action figure collectors, this figure is a lot of fun. Before we wrap up, I'm just going to roll some of the photos I've done with this figure to show you, how versatile he is. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.